loss streak that they had earlier on in the split. So maybe they have actually fixed that.
And they did have 4 wins in a row. Most recently, that very exciting comeback win over Cloud9. Here they're hoping to end the split with a 6-game winning streak heading into playoffs here. CLG, of course, in the running for one of those buys. Team Dignitas, it's, I think, now out of reach due to the earlier Team Liquid win. They can no longer catch that. I could be wrong, but I have to look at it.
There's 2 teams sitting at 12 wins, so Team Dignitas cannot get a buy.
Yeah, they're at 9. So they can move up to like maybe 3rd. That'd be the best they could hope for here. All right, Twisted Fate away from Pobelter, the Rumble and Callisto away, so scattered bans from Team Dignitas. Similar here for CLG. They realize Shifter's Ari is one of his few rare good assassins, and they drop that off the table.
Hovering the Tahm Kench. Gamsu has played some of the less conventional top laners this split. Even last split, he was someone who would play top lane Rek'Sai. He pulled the Jarvan out and had some dominating performances. I don't expect them to be playing the Tahm Kench.
First pick Rek'Sai yet again. Helios, it seems to be all he wants to play here. There's not even any of the jugglers banned. It's not like he can't get a good jungler, but Helios wants so badly to play Rek'Sai every single game. Which is weird because like Smithy would just play Gragas anyway. I'm actually so surprised at how much Dignitas wants to early pick this champion.
Yeah.
It does hide the rest of their lanes, though. It allows them to counterpick a few more spots.
Absolutely, and that's what Team Dignitas is going to be trying to do, is mainly just counterpick. But they don't go for the Gragas. They leave that completely on the table. Basically, the things that CLG has been finding the most success with, they have the opportunity to pick all of those things. So they could very easily go with Gragas, Fizz, and Tristana at any point they want during this draft. And they go with 2 other picks, but they could still get the other 3.
They still could get the other 3, you're absolutely right here. Ezreal, interesting to see that. We are still on 513, so Runeglaive still does AoE magic damage when brought by a laner. Obvious Braum pickup there seems to be the typical counter pick. And Shifter goes in for what I expect to be him playing Kog'Maw, but of course that could flex around. We'll see where the Kog ends up going against what we assume to be AP Ezreal, but of course could be AD.
A lot of flexing still to be done. Kog'Maw and Ezreal can both swap between either of those lanes. We did just see Piglet play AD Kog'Maw in the bottom lane. Or JJ, maybe continuing a trend of Korean-born AD carries playing Kog'Maw this weekend. True, we'll see. And I'd expect the last pick Fizz from CLG if they're just going to play their game.
That's true. Well, it is going to for sure be the AP Ezreal Runeglaive mid lane here for Pobelter. I suppose it could still be AD Ezreal mid. We've seen that actually once in a while as a sort of flexible choice. Doublelift gets his Tristana with Corki on the map. And yeah, last pick going to be a top laner for certain here. Team Dignitas now to decide where that Kog'Maw is going. I think they can feel good about picking up Braum here. And they are facing an Ezreal and taking the time to make the last few choices. They need a top laner. They need to flex that Kog'Maw.
A lot of... Braum is really, really good against AP Ezreal.
Yes.
Because one of the main strengths about AP Ezreal is just firing off true shot barrages for poke, waiting until it hits someone, and then going and taking an objective. But if Braum can see it coming and reflex his shield properly, he can completely negate that damage, break the true shot barrage, it won't hit anybody, and really save the team from that pain.
All right, yet again, we are going to see the attack damage Kog'Maw, the bot lane Kog'Maw, mid Lulu going to come through for Shifter. With the top lane Shen, I mean, this is, again, just a bunch of supports, and the Kog'Maw in the back line, trying to make Core JJ the key carry. It did work for Team Liquid, but that was largely a game based on them winning all of their lanes, not just the Kog'Maw itself.
Yeah, this is much different because the threats on Team Dignitas are really one-dimensional. It's just the Kog'Maw. Whereas in the prior game, we saw a lot of damage coming out from Nidalee and Orianna.
Yep.
So this one is very much the old Juggernaut that you would think of, where everything piles onto the Cog. But really the only person helping the Kog'Maw with the damage is Lulu, so really lacking damage there from Team Dignitas. And to try and run through the Juggernaut, besides Spartans, Olaf.
So,
all right.
Good luck with this one. Yeah, this is going to be fun. So Olaf top lane picked up here for Zion Spartan. We've seen him in the jungle a couple of times, but only once unsuccessfully over in North America. Now top lane Olaf is back.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those picks that's always been really deep in Zion Spartan's pockets. He's pulled it out very sparingly, at least once. It may have even been in a promotion tournament or the playoffs. I don't remember the exact game, but I remember seeing it, and he was crushing the lane with it. This is when no one was playing Olaf. We've seen Olaf jungle a little bit in the European LCS, but as far as the top lane Olaf, it is very, very uncommon. This instance, though, he's going to maybe try and use it to bust through the Jugger mods. Interesting. Shen is a low-pressure laner, so Olaf would be able to farm against him.
Yeah.
I want to see how Zion Spartan pulls this one off.
It's actually weird to see what comp he was picked in. I mean, it's good against slows, of course, which, of course, there are many in the enemy team, but like he doesn't have a Lulu or a Karma or Norgot on the team. Yeah, he has no support from his teammates except for an Ezreal attack speed buff from his W, so interesting choice.
Typically see Olaf picked with hastes.
Right, exactly, and we'll see if that ends up biting Zion in the back here, but we'll see what happens. Of course, these are very good players, and so while the teams load into the game, head over to Twitter and send hashtag DIG win or hashtag CLG win to let us know if the Olaf will lose or win respectively. We'll check your votes in just a few minutes here, but attempting for a playoff by Counter Logic Gaming really want this one. Dignitas is looking for a better seed.
Yep, and based on these team compositions, Core JJ has to go off in this one. Expect some defensive play by Team Dignitas early. They really have to split the lanes until they can get the Trinity Force onto Core JJ, and then they start forcing around objectives. For CLG, expect the lane swap game. Olaf is great in lane swapping situations. Trist also really wants those lane swaps.
Did you know Olaf can full clear the jungle without a potion?
Yep.
Pretty strong jungler.
You're very, very low when you're doing so.
Yeah, you're like really at a third at all times.
You're maximizing your attack speed by staying low in the jungle.
They didn't even respawn when you full clear.
I think you need Smite to do that, though.
I suppose. Yeah, the machete actually has a lot of regen and stuff. Yeah. Zion fighting Gamps. By the way, Zion's going to win this fight by a lot.
Yeah.
But doesn't want to overextend. If he goes much farther, he'd have to burn Ghost to get away from Rek'Sai. So, deals some damage, feels good about himself. They walk away. I am curious to see how much damage Zion Spartan builds. Typically out of the jungle, we see him build almost full tank. But since the last time we saw top lane Olaf be common, he got a lot more attack damage ratios and a lot more lifesteal. And I want to know if it's going to be that the old like 2012 full tank build or something more offensive.
Yeah, specifically I'm expecting a fairly early Righteous Glory because he needs a way of getting himself into the fight. Once again, we normally see the Olaf with either a Sivir or a Lulu.
Right.
So, non-standard pick. Looks like the teams are kind of calling each other's lane swaps, though. Because no one got really deep wards, they mainly are just guessing at this. So there could be a mind game or a double mind game. Ends up both AD carries are on top lane.
Yeah.
Core JJ is alone.
Yeah, and he expects to be lane swapped on because he's setting up a freeze right here and not doing a camp rather. I do think that Dignitas' 2-on-2 would be slightly stronger here. Just Alistar, I believe, is a bit weak into Braum. Gamsu Helios double jungling in the bottom side here. The same for Zion and Smithy, and in fact they will be taking equivalent risks as they go through the jungle. Match lanes, Australian meta here. Double from Aframu have fully shared the Krugs, and they're into lane. Core JJ's alone for now.
And we'll explain the joke, the Australian meta, because everything's upside down.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we've made the joke so many times before that I figure everyone knows it.
I feel like we haven't used it in a long time.
That's fair.
It's been like the whole year.
Maybe I just watch more OPL. Oh, Pobelter ignited at the very start. Shift to get some decent damage down. He won't kill him outright, but I like getting the ignite on cooldown early.
Yeah, level 2 early from Shifter. Pobelter getting too greedy on the Ezreal, really just wanting to farm out those early lanes, but he gets himself pushed back early as possible. Recall. Wow, that's huge for Shifter.
Definitely is. This is going to be all kinds of scary. And interestingly, Zion Spartan did not take enough jungle camps to get a ward for himself on his trek back to the lane, so also not a great amount of vision control. Could maybe be ganked later on by Gamsu and Helios without teleport. Meanwhile, the 2-on-2 actually quite good for CLG with KiwiKid showing up to the lane late. It allowed the early push lead for CLG, and we'll see what it looks like when the lane equalizes.
CLG was also able to do the Krugs while Core JJ was freezing, so really everything CLG would want to happen in an actual 2v2 lane happens with this 2v2 lane in the top. It'll be interesting to see if CLG really just tries to bomb that turret over and over with Tristana, or if they swap back once they have a lead and try to get some dragon control.
This is actually just really smooth by Smithy as well. He is already here ready to participate in a gank or counter gank if something does happen from this chain push. Realize he does not see Rek'Sai anywhere, and will just take the Scuttler. Helios had a defensive trinket ward, doesn't get invaded on. Looks like all is well on the top side of the map.
This will be interesting. If Helios goes through this wall, he can get a pretty good gank angle. Even though the ward is there.
And you know Smithy's running around, so he recalls. Oh, he knows he went backwards try, though.
And someone was paying attention.
Oh, he pinged it wrong. He pinged like he was up in the brush, but the tremor sense showed him going in a try brush.
True. He'd also recalled, so maybe he was just postulating that he could have doubled back.
That's true.
Never know. Either way, CLG is playing none the wiser, because of course they have no idea Rek'Sai could have been there.
Yeah, there were no deep wards yet by Smithy. He hasn't actually tracked Rek'Sai in any meaningful way. The Trinket ward that was in River has timed out, and Scuttler can't really hope to track a champion that can jump walls.
So here's the really strange thing.
Yeah.
About the mid lane CS. Shifter did such a good job pushing Pobelter back to lane at the very start of the game, but now the CS is back to even. For the most part, it's a bigger wave on Pobelter's side, so he can get these CS at the turret. It's time and time again, Shifter has these opportunities to maximize his advantage, but he just seems to miss out on a little bit. He had a great move early, and he's missed a lot of CS since then.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the attempts to harass Pobelter have denied Shifter a whole lot of gold there. Yeah, saw miss the wave. So unfortunate stuff. CLG still pushing as hard as they can, and in fact, these guys doing a much better job. Plus 10 here, making it quite difficult for CoreJJ and Kiwi Kid to last hit. Kiwi just keeps getting harassed and can't set up the CS properly. Smithy being actually tracked under his turret very low here, and it will not be easy to recall away. But Helios won't press it, and he will get out. Meanwhile, top lane matchup is actually a little bit in Gamsu's favor.
The top laners in the bottom lane. The solo laners. Side laners.
Yeah. Is it winter for them over there? More Australian jokes?
No, it looks pretty warm. Okay. Grass and stuff.
Summer in Swift?
All right, sure. I'll allow it.
Thank you, chat. The commissioner of shoutcasting, Joshua Jat Leesman, has allowed the pun. Oh, Zion, though, goes for the trade. This could be all kinds of fun. Gamsu loses all his energy, and Zion misses the wave that he was trying to last hit, but he's still chasing. He's level 6, keep in mind, so there's not much Gamsu could run away with, but will not chase under the turret. Seems smart enough, and there's the lifesteal.
Yeah, and thinking about this team comp, Zion Spartan's really going to be trying to push his advantage right here, maybe even prepping a dive. Maybe they can even go for this turret. Nice giant wave that Zion Spartan goes aggressive on. Meanwhile,
he's going to jump forward after move. Only level 5 right here. Flash Naga comes through. Bromq needs to land. Flash the way. Bromq, it's double lift. He rocket jumps, does not get stunned just yet, and somehow no kills come through. But Shifter...
Whoa, taking one for the team there, double lift, standing in front of the Bromq after Afro had burned his flash to make sure he couldn't come through on that one. And because of that trade, CLG's going to be able to get the bottom turret at their leisure.
Yeah. Gamsu does not want to burn his teleport, even though he's soon to level 6. Accepts the turret will go down, and a small lead for Zion Spartan. Levels as well, and Smithy's still staying down here. Gamsu,
I think,
not respecting the fact that he's around slow. Lands forced to flash. Smithy not level 6. He's barely 5.
Yeah, has to respect Helios.
Jungler down a level, though Helios without flash, not going to get much done here.
Yeah, and we know the team Dignitas wants to play a lot of this early game. Somewhat passive. Also, it's not surprising that they dedicate their ganks towards the Kog'Maw. It was just unsuccessful. It was a very nice stop there by CLG to prevent that gank, and a nice pressure gank by Smithy right after Zion Spartan turned it on in order to force that turret. Now they still have the Trist, who is also more likely to get the turret than the Kog'Maw, so CLG is already starting to build on this turret lead. Absolutely.
Double just got a BS sword for himself. These things are going to get just chunked down right now. The turret itself, the bottom lane one, worth 800 gold, but CLG, that's actually exactly the lead right here. The lane's roughly matched in overall farm. And the slow and steady pace does allow Dignitas, turret death aside, to scale up so far, not getting overwhelmed at this point yet.
Yeah, CLG, more than any other team in the North American LCS, seems like they pick more for their specific lane matchups because they want to crush the early game. Oftentimes, CLG will fall prey to not having a very synergistic late-game team composition, but something that almost always happens is they'll win the early game. They're good at the early game, and they pick champions for the early game. It's showing again right here. They have this strategy of being able to pressure both of the side lanes and split farm and mid and just grow an advantage, and that's what they're executing on right now.
Yeah, and we'll see when the next turret does fall. Because right now, mid lane, of course, it's not the best for Ezreal just yet. That's probably the one weak lane that CLG's even picked, but that's all right for them because they've got this Olaf, this Tristana, who are doing so very well. Shifter again, looking for the trade, dodge the skill shots, waits in the Glitter Lance, gets a chunk of damage done, and poor
Hello, Helios. He just steals it right from under Xmithy's face.
Yeah. Helios cosplaying a chin here. We're going to get jumped on by 4 members. Maybe a bit too aggressive. Explodes. The Red Glove goes back to Xmithy.
Zoom, zoom.
Ezreal comes by, tags 2. The chase still on. Actually, the ulti ends just before the stun goes in, but there's a rocket jump in. Kiwi Kid's got nowhere to go in this one. 150 health on him. Gets the Lulu ulti, but the Q lands. And Pobelter does get a kill. Shift, they're forced to flash away. Explosive shot there. Doublelift trying to run, cannot dodge at all. A bloodbath here in the top lane. Still ends up a 3 for 2. No, a 3 for 3. CoreJJ knocks a couple down himself.
So that started out looking like it was going to be a disaster for Team Dignitas, but they pick up 3 kills on the backside of that fight. And critically, CoreJJ gets a kill plus gets to farm afterwards. That's actually a pretty good deal for Team Dignitas since they now have the pressure advantage afterwards. Not going to take advantage of it either. But both kills going over to 2 kills going over to Xmithy early on in that. Not the greatest kill distribution for CLG. Very beneficial kill distribution for Dignitas. It all starts. Xmithy does barely get level 6, I think, by getting a small minion, and they burn a lot to kill Helios. That seems like it's a good start, but poor timing for Zion Spartan. Cannot be disabled, cannot be disabled. Now he can be, and they stun him at just the right time so he can take down CoreJJ. Also, the exhaust is burned when CoreJJ would be retreating anyway, so it doesn't actually diminish his DPS. And then right here, CLG just splits focus. They all jump down to Shifter, where it was Doublelift and Zion who probably needed the assistance. It allows Gamsu to pick up a kill, and more split focus there with CoreJJ taking down Zion Spartan. So a skirmish that actually could have been in the favor of CLG ends up splitting with Dignitas.
That's actually a pretty darn good thing for Team Dignitas then, to not have their invade fail so catastrophically. Top lane did not get killed, but CLG realized that, as is Dignitas, that Dragon's up on the field and an important objective. So the dual lanes switch to the bot side, and their battles will continue. Sheen, Zeal versus BF Sword. All the kills and assists CoreJJ got. Definitely going to help him out here. He was behind the matchup, but should be quite a bit better here.
Yeah.
Equal CS, to be completely fair, so pushing aside, the turret didn't go down, and CoreJJ managed to get just enough farm that all is well for him. And again, as you mentioned, a equal early game to the benefit of Team Dignitas.
Yeah, mostly equal. Obviously, 1,400 gold lead is not to be scoffed at for sure, but because of the way the Juggernaut team composition wants to spike through in the mid game once the Trinity Force is completed, they are on their way to completing that Trinity Force, which is quite important. And it's going to be...
He has the Q, doesn't even try. Nice Shen to keep himself alive.
No!
One more hit, there it is, the Flash W. Little Lance misses as well, nice burst.
Burned through everything. Shen ultimate, Lulu ultimate, and they still managed to get a kill. That nicely placed axe by Zion Spartan. It seemed like one of these most ridiculous ganks, of Olaf with no ghost coming to gank the mid lane, but it actually results in a kill and now a dragon.
It's going to be all theirs. Aphromu with the nice last hit with Alistar auto attacks. The Dragon number 1 is CLG, definitely nice. Dignitas now nothing to play for themselves. Their siege not the best with the deficit they've got so far. CLG a quick rotation down to the mid lane because, well, bot's pushed in anyway. Some good damage coming through.
Yeah. They're just trying to use this Trist to knock down turrets. Trist Ezreal, even more attack speed for the Trist in these short bursts of time to kill the turret, and Gamsu can't finish his turret either.
Ooh, and Zion's on the chase up there, actually looking to knock down Gamsu, who burns Summoner Teleport to get away from Olaf. You can't stop the TP, but you can certainly make him leave.
Well, now he's going to get the turret, so this is going to cost them either way, whether it's with the death or with the turret.
Nicely done. Zion Spartan's counter pick certainly working out now. Going for Black Cleaver first, by the way. Might be tanked from there, but that'll give him the mobility. You talked about the fact that he needs to be able to move fast, and just throwing an axe will give you move speed with a Black Cleaver. So Zion will knock it down cleanly and securely. Max Q, Max E second. Standard stuff, actually. It's typical for Olaf.
Should be expected. Now the wave clear is starting to kick in for Pobelter with his Runeglaive. CLG is transitioning their early game. They're really wanting to try and build up this turret advantage. They just got to keep up on their rotations, make sure they keep the wave clear in the right place. And I do kind of want to call back to just the ridiculousness of the Olaf Ezreal gank synergy. They have like nothing that works together. They slow him once, no slows to set up the first axe, and it killed through a Lulu and a Shen. Like that really shouldn't happen. Lulu should be able to whimsy herself. She should be saving that spell for the self-haste and just juke the first axe and most of the skill shots and never get killed. But Shifter gets punished pretty heavily by a very unexpected game.
Well executed by Counterlogic Gaming. Blue buff going to be securely there as well. Goes to Pobelter, no risk there. Bot lane pushed in by Team Dignitas though, but there's reinforcements not far away. And that will mean not too much turret damage done. Have to be afraid of a flash pulverize.
And a really odd teleport. They're going to have to close a lot of distance. Aphro's flash.
He's already burned Ghost. They want this one. Flash pulverize comes in. Core today exhausted. A defensive Braum ulti, but they've got so much ground to cover before they reach safety. Axe explodes off of the Kiwi Kid shield, and that's going to be Core today going down. Kiwi Kid as well. Nice ulti in from Pobo to make sure it happens.
And that's a time where splitting their focus really worked out well. Smithy knew they had the kill secured on Core JJ, made sure they'd be able to kill Kiwi Kid on the backside. And again, a nicely executed play by CLG that a lot of people wouldn't have necessarily saw. They don't have a home guard teleport, it's in the middle of a lane, but they knew that Aphromoo could close with flash to start the play, and they'd be able to collapse in afterwards because the distance could be closed by Zion Spartan's Ghost. So that play requires a lot of foresight just to see, and it didn't necessarily look like it could work, but because Team Dignitas was pushed up in that lane, it nets them a clean double kill.
Absolutely the case, and it seemed to be just in time. Gamsu's ulti, I don't know if it was up or down, but it seemed like he was not able to or unwilling to use it there. Pobelter should not burn to death. Clears out part of the wave and all is well, but the mid lane matchup plus 30 minions for Pobelter here in a matchup that's supposed to be bad. He got pushed out of the lane at level 1. And is just absolutely having a better game here. Then Shifter, it seems like the Ahri ban, the Assassin's going away. Shifter is unable to really abuse Pobelter here. CLG now in a sizable lead.
Yeah, Core JJ has completed his Trinity Force though, so if there is a time for Team Dignitas to come back, it would be around this point. Just the Morellonomicon though, for Shifter on Lulu. And really, Jay picks up an Wisp as well. But not that much power to even help.
Yeah.
With important shields. And still no turrets for Team Dignitas. They've been outlaned, which is the plan for CLG.
Good plan.
Yeah, good plan. Just outlane.
Just win the early game, don't let them do anything, and then find really strong ganks. So far, so good. Zion Spartan gonna score Core JJ.
He has no flash.
Good luck with this one. Whiffs a couple auto attacks actually. Auto attack reset himself twice. Ulti on to run away.
They interrupted Gamsu on the other side. They might be going for a kill.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. He is dead. Devil gets the kill, 7-3 in this one. Zion Spartan is now going to get dived though, and that's no chance at all for him. Core JJ does get the kill, his second of the game. Bot lane outer will take some severe damage, but CLG will knock down top.
Yeah, I wonder how long CLG can push this, because if Team Dignitas commits to either the mid lane or the bottom lane push, they would actually sacrifice an inhibitor turret, so despite the death from Zion Spartan, they might not get anything out of it.
I don't know if Core JJ Recon is going to mean anything anyway. This turret's going to be down no matter what. Jungler, mid laner, and support all heading up. CLG.
Dangerous. They want to finish it so badly.
All right, the Kog'Maw's around, but the Kog'Maw's not going to do anything in this fight whatsoever. Oh, TP comes in. Gamsu wants the flank. The double slow comes onto Aphromoo.
CLG's outnumbered.
Aphromoo has the ulti, though. He can tank this forever. Pops it. He's going to run backwards.
Forever is one thing. Actually, it's about 6 seconds.
Gamsu lands the stun. The taunt double knockup comes through for Braum. Double's going to go down. Shifter gets the kill. They knocked out Aphro as well. Rush Hour going to have no sequel for a while now. And Team Dignitas able to push CLG out, and yet again we see that deep TP to catch the flank, to catch the kill in the duo lane.
Yeah, all things considered, probably worth for CLG to pick up the extra 2 turrets, especially that they've now exposed an inhibitor 18 minutes into the game, and also didn't suffer any turret kills of their own, only because of that aggressive play where Team Dignitas forced back. Nice job by Team Dignitas to pick up 2 kills. Even better that Core JJ is now sitting on 3, so he's the guy who needs to power up. If we look at this one more time,
nice.
Really jumping in to get the vision and knocking that one away. Honestly, if the whole plan, though, was to actually kill the turrets, get that guy out of there. The kill is better for the gold, obviously. Unfortunately, Zion Spartan died on the other side. But now, no ultimate on Aphro. He's...
Yeah, Dragon's up. So you're right, low tank stats, Trinity Force, plenty fine for Core JJ here.
This would be the moment, right? They're grouping with the Trinity Force Kog'Maw and the Lulu. But honestly, they don't have that much buffing the Kog'Maw to make him a tremendous damage threat. The Sunfire Cape, if anything, is actually pretty strong for Gamsu. It'll be interesting to see if they can split focus on this fight properly. That is CLG to disrupt this. Double is actually pushing mid. I wonder if they give this up. Team makes a different call. Now they go in.
They can try for the steal here. Smithy has done it before. He looks for it, gets the smite. Nicely done pickup there. He just didn't even smite at all himself. Smithy, though, close to it. One more ult will do it. Gonna land the tag. No, it's not enough damage. And here's the engage. Afro knocks up 4. He's in the middle of that team. Pops the ulti. Bunch of damage comes through. 2 picked up already. Shifter and Core JJ the next in line. There's the 3rd. Here comes the 4th. Bunny hops everywhere. And a double kill for both the top laner and AD carry of CLG.
That did not go well for Team Dignitas. Not only was the Dragons smote away, but they also go down 4-0, even though Kiwi Kid put up the proper block for the Ezreal ultimate. So one nice move there by Team Dignitas getting the block, but the rest of the fight was just dominated by CLG. Amazing re-initiation by Afro. I think he got a 4-man pulverize in the middle of that, which comboed just so well with Zion Spartan running in there, somehow being effective without any extra hastes on a damage-heavy Olaf.
Yeah, Hexbreaker second, also nice stuff here. So a ton of attack damage for him, enough take stats, I suppose. It's a Gnar type build, essentially. And
yeah,
so far that's working here. Top lane turret goes down unassisted, so only 625.
Yeah, one nice thing about the Black Cleaver is the Olaf axe flying through will also shred, so Trist can do more damage. So he gets the shred very early on. Look at the giant group. First disengaged, but then Team Dignitas wants to keep fighting. One of the problems here is the only real damage dealer is that Kog'Maw, but he's really not that powerful yet. 4-man flash pulverize. They get Core JJ into a place where he can't really deal maximum DPS. He has to kite back while in the middle of this fight. The rest of Team Dignitas is picked off because CLG has a multitude of threats, and the threat has been shut down on the side of Team Dignitas. Really nice fight, and cannot quite steal away the blue buff.
Happy stuff for Pobelter here. Helios just ridden her out of the wings then. 2 dragons to 0, 6 turrets to 1, and 11 kills to 6. We're at almost a 9,000 gold lead for Counterlogic Gaming at only 21 minutes. An absolutely massive lead for the guys in red. Helios. There's the setup, there's the knockup. One more Q will do it. Nice pickup. Somehow Afro once again takes the kill away.
I think Trample got it.
Probably.
His passive on Alistar. It's unfortunate Pobelter didn't get that kill. Oh, who got that blue? Shifter got the blue.
All right. Nice pickup there.
All right.
Going for Luden's Echo second himself, so that will increase his damage a bit. You mentioned that it had to be Kog'Maw doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but a fairly held down Kog'Maw. We've already got 2 items on Trist. Kog still waiting on his last Whisper, so a low damage Kog'Maw.
Interesting how they actually put the Righteous Glory onto the Gragas, because Afro has been able to pick up a locket. He missed his WQ combo.
Oh, a taunt though. Smithy taking a fair bit of damage here. This might be an okay fight. Mid lane turret goes down. Smithy taking what he can. Afro pops the ulti, knocks him in. Goodbye, Helios. Double gets the kill. Small chase for Zion Spartan. Can't go too much farther though. Pops the ulti to get away. CLG in a 5v4 still have some time to push. Their big damage dealers are alive. The backline is here. The double marksman, Kiwi Kid nearly goes down. He can't knock the turret down in time to make him blow up.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a 10,000 gold lead by 22 minutes, so that's why the fight could start so badly for CLG, but still have them come out ahead.
Oh, big play by Shifter, and Afro has no ulti, so this could be a good chase down, but Gamsu out of energy. Shifter's gonna whimsy up soon, looks for the Q, does land a slow to Zion Spartan. There comes Smithy though, a big play, a knockup from Lulu ulti. Still the damage comes through, they trade back in a double lift, and a big fight comes in. Core JJ just jumped on by Zion Spartan. Easy to for this one, gonna wait on the concussive blows. Afro re-slowed though, and Gamsu still making work in the front line. Helios has come back as well. And out goes Xmithie. This is actually a decent fight on the backside, but their base still dying.
Bloody fight for sure. Nice job for Shifter to get that kill, but yeah, their base is completely broken into 8 turrets by 23 minutes. A miraculous amount of turret destruction by CLG. Playing towards their strategy, superior lanes, Trist. This is one of the big reasons they prioritize Trist so heavily.
Yeah. Turn lane
and
wins
they've really just been
destruction.
kiting and disengaging, re-engaging quite well.
It's a really good style by CLG. It all works so well off of the fact that Tristana has mostly good matchups, especially against current meta. And yeah, they can just close. There's just no way to come back from gold leads like this without losing turrets first.
Yeah, again, CLG catching themselves in a fight because they're doing those last few hits on a turret. This happened the last time they took down an inhibitor turret as well. It's where Team Dignitas can find some of these opportunities. Really nice clear lance there by Shifter. And as the fight turns, you can see CLG had the big play in mind, but a really good taunt by Gamsu to get onto double lift and prevent the resets. That meant Zion Spartan had to chase people down on foot. It meant the fight was spread, the main damage from CLG was completely gone, and Team Dignitas could come out on top in that team fight.
Well, they're still down 6 kills though, unfortunately, so a long road ahead for Team Dignitas here.
Oh yeah, the game is very difficult to win, even with a fight where you come ahead 3-2.
Very difficult is a nice way to put it, chat. This would be a minor miracle. Legend Gaming looking to set up Baron Nashor as the next play. That's almost too risky. We have 2 open inhibitors. I feel like the safe play is knock the inhibs down first and get a much more secured Baron, but if they can get vision control, why not? Maybe they can bait a fight from Dignitas.
Yeah, interesting. Zion Spartan just really going for the mid-game steamroll right there. Elixir of Wrath to give him even more healing in these fights, and there they go. Time to go.
The knockup. Kiwi Kid is a tank, but just gets focused down. Nice flash away, but Lulu ulti a bit wasted to be
Zion
completely
is
fair.
all the way around the side, but doesn't really have a real way of getting in.
He's going to put the ulti on right now. There's the move speed already done. He's going to walk away. Dignitas do successfully disengage, and Alistair lost his ulti for that.
They burned a fair bit, all things considered. Ezreal, Alistair, and Olaf ultimate, which would make Team Dignitas want to engage on this Baron. Really sneaky ward. The pink ward, unfortunately, does not see that for CLG. They're expecting it to see that, but the way the curves work, wards see in straight lines. So that one was not spotted by the pink.
Oh! No crit. There's the crit. Deadlift gets him down. The red buff slow definitely helped a whole lot. And actually, yeah, to explain the vision, actually, I learned about this a couple months ago. The center of your model is what looks out, but it can see the edge of another model. So if you're like basically right up against a wall, you can't see around it, but they can see you. Think about like if I was in front of a pillar, you'd see my shoulder, so you'd know I was there, but I couldn't see you looking at me. Works the same way in League of Legends. Ulti comes across, slows 3.
Oh dear.
And Zion is here. Kiwi Kid blocks the X, but still tanks the damage. Down he goes. Double lift has slain Kiwi Kid.
Rinse and repeat. You only have so many opportunities to use Scrying Orb, but Team Dignitas does not want to give Baron to a team when they have 2 exposed inhibitors already. So really, CLG is baiting this Baron again and again. This time, though, they start it, and I think they'll be able to end it.
That's going to be a secure. Yes, it is. Red team is slain Baron Nashor. That's CLG. Afro engage, but has no health left, so he's going to go down for this one. No, what? He doesn't die. Double lift, his 8th kill of the game. Shifter going to give Zion Spartan his 5th. 19-9. Counterlogic Gaming did get Baron. Well played by them.
If I remember correctly, Zion Spartan actually picked Olaf in the top lane against a top lane Lulu back in the day. So he is familiar with that matchup, even though they're not specifically in lane. And that's one of the reasons he could run down Shifter right there, using his Ragnarok to negate the slows of the Lulu. And once he lands the axe, he's negating the haste as well. Slows apply after speed boosts, so the axe will be greater than the move speed boost, generally speaking, since they're both percentage increases and decreases.
Yeah, you're practically guaranteed. And also interesting to note that Zion is not going Mercury Treads, even though he would be dealing with a fair number of CCs. He's like, yeah, the ult's going to be enough. Don't worry about it. So the highly offensive build working out for him here. Zion Spartan walking on 343 attack damage. He's a bit scary. The Q does about 500. The E does 400 true damage. Good luck.
This is one of these builds that you don't expect to see in pro play. Everyone's like, if you want to play Olaf seriously, man,
you gotta build a tank.
You gotta build tank. And Zion says, nah, I'm gonna build damage.
Yep.
And win. Tiamat, yeah, I'm gonna build damage. Let's do it.
So Hydra's ridiculous on him, by the way. You can legit 1v3.
So much.
Oh yeah, I mean, so the W, like, you heal for more when you're low off your W, and it applies to all lifesteal.
He's just.
I mean, at this point he's ahead, so like you can't, like, this is not the equivalent of like Death Cap Renekton, but.
I'm kind of happy because this gives so much justification to every Olaf who wants to build damage. Ever be like, Zion Spartan did it, so I can do it too, right?
I think Olaf was the second champion I got to Mastery 4, building only attack damage items from the jungle.
Good lord. 370 attack damage, still sitting on his Elixir of Wrath because he's been resetting it. But he's squishy. Let's see if he turns it around.
Helios said half health. Oh man, double it from downtown. Says thank you very much. His 9th kill of the game, and CLG ready to push on into this one. Bottom inhibitor turret laid bare. The 2 already dead. There's all 3. And here comes the game-winning push. Sub 30 minutes. We have seen so many fast games in North America. CLG joining the club here in week 9. And they are going to keep pace with Team Liquid. The hopes of a first-round bye in the playoffs are still alive for Counterlogic Gaming. There's the winner for Team Dignitas.
That's how they had to do it. To be fair, I feel like full 80 Olaf only works when you're tremendously far ahead from the opponent, but when you are, it works very well. The rest of CLG, though, this is the way they kind of have to win. If this was a really slow-paced 40-minute game where they're not forcing ganks or objectives, they probably could have lost based on the team compositions, right?
Sure.
Zion Spartan really had no other synergies with Olaf outside of just winning his lane and snowballing out of control, but they were able to do that. And when CLG is at their best, that is how they win. And that's how they won in regular season in North American LCS. Now it will all be about having confidence in themselves as they transition this to the very end of the regular season and into playoffs, because it has not been a style that has ever worked in the playoffs, but CLG is going to give it a go this year.
Yeah, well, CLG is showing that they can beat a playoff team with this style, and convincingly so.
Yeah, this very well could be the first-round playoff matchup.
Yeah.
If CLG ends up with the 3rd seed and Team Dignitas the 6th.
And that does seem to be a likely scenario here. Keep in mind, Team Liquid 2-0, I believe, against Counter Logic Gaming on the split overall. No, sorry, 1-1. I take that back. So
yeah, CLG
we may even have the head-to-head tiebreaker. CLG's last game this week is up against Team 8, a game you expect them to win, and a team we just saw Team Liquid play and defeat. So could be the setup, the preview of what these matchups could be. That'll be a very interesting one if it comes to it later on. Doublelift got to be happy about that one. Played aggressively in his lane, had enough ward control to not get punished. They had one scary gank that they mechanically played properly. CLG evaded a Helios gank. Good play by them to get away with it. And the aggressive play worked.